Each small remark, every minor setback, if it gets under your skin, you're handing over your strength. The truth is that the most solid people don't face fewer issues, simply mastered their responses. Picture moving through life untouched, no more overanalyzing, no explosive reactions, just full control. In this video, I'll teach you to train your mind to act like nothing affects you, so you stop feeling caged by your emotions and begin mastering them. Because once you gain this skill, no person or situation will ever take control of you again. First, mastering the nothing bothers me mindset. Life is packed with noise, opinions, frustrations, surprise challenges, and the world constantly hurls distractions, critiques, and barriers your way. But imagine if I told you that real power comes from learning indifference. Think about walking through a storm without flinching or breaking composure. That's exactly what it means to behave like nothing can shake you. The key lies in learning to detach emotions from outer events. When outside forces dictate your feelings, you become controlled by things beyond you. But if you train your mind to stay steady, you gain full control of your future. The world admires people who remain cool during chaos, who stay firm under stress. Once you live with this mindset, you exert authority without speaking. You glide through life with strength, poise, and absolute confidence. Think of history's most powerful individuals. They weren't those who lashed out at every jab or judgment. Instead, they carried an aura of control, like they knew secrets the rest didn't. Their power wasn't in arguing or retaliating, but in staying detached. That's what true indifference is about. Consider wisdom from self-mastery and success teachings. The biggest truth is this: thought drives action. You become what you think. If you always react emotionally, you're surrendering power. But if your mindset is firm, the world adjusts to you. The greats in life know this rule: control the mind and you shape your world. Think of a moment where someone insults you publicly. Most people would feel rage, defend, or fight back. But what if you smiled and calmly walked off? You stripped the attacker of power. They wanted reaction. Without it, they're disturbed. You, however, walk away empowered and untouched. That's the quiet strength most don't get, but all admire. The same is true for loss and failure. When people face rejection, they let feelings take over. They drown in anger, wasting days, months, or years over setbacks. But those who grasp indifference treat failure as information, a correction, a moment to adjust, a stepping stone. They don't absorb the loss. They observe it, adapt, then move on. So, how can you build this control? It starts by training your mind daily. Build the habit of pausing before responding. Ask yourself, does this situation really impact my goals? Is reacting worth it, or am I giving up my control? By choosing not to react, you create a shield from life's noise. Another vital tool is visualization. Envision yourself gliding through life, untouchable. Imagine a version of you that doesn't react to insults or break under stress. Keep building that mental image until it becomes your truth. The mind is powerful. What you see repeatedly, you become. Let people wonder why you're so calm. Let them ask how you stay in control. When you act like nothing shakes you, you run the show. You turn into a mystery, respected, admired, but never fully understood, and your mystery becomes your might. True strength isn't aggression or control. It's about presence, a presence so solid it never needs to prove itself, a presence that earns respect with calm and mental strength. Own this and you own life. Stay grounded. Think of the strongest people you know. They don't act on impulse. They don't let emotions rule them. They pause, reflect, and respond with purpose. Not because they lack emotion, but because they've mastered it. Emotional control doesn't mean hiding your feelings, it means managing them. Picture this: you're in a fiery argument and someone tries to provoke you. Do you blow up? Do you hand your feelings over? Or do you stay calm, knowing their words mean nothing unless you let them? Real detachment is holding on to your peace no matter what happens outside. It's about realizing that your inner world is sacred and untouchable. Once you embrace this mindset, stress fades, clarity sharpens, and life struggles turn into puzzles to solve, not wars to wage. Think about how thoughts create reality. Whatever you concentrate on, you draw in. If outside events control your mood, you become a servant to them. But by mastering your thoughts and feelings, you take charge of your future. Take the story of a man who lost it all. His company failed, his assets vanished, and he was left empty-handed. Most would crumble, but he didn't. Instead, he treated the loss as instruction, not disaster. He believed his mind was his greatest tool, and no amount of failure could rob him of that. With this outlook, he came back stronger. That's the essence of detachment. By refusing to let failures define you, you create space to rise. Many don't reach their goals because of emotional instability. They let fear, hesitation, and irritation drive them. They start strong but quit when obstacles appear. But those who grasp detachment see emotions as passing visitors. They don't let temporary emotions sabotage lifelong missions. They push on because their minds are trained to treat obstacles as lessons instead of blockades. Learning detachment doesn't mean you grow cold or careless. It means not letting the world dictate your emotional state. You still feel happiness, sorrow, and thrill, but you stay in charge. Your emotions work for you, not the reverse. To develop this strength, start by pausing during emotional situations. The next time someone offends you, take a breath. Don't react, just watch how you feel. Ask yourself if it really impacts your life long term. Most times, it doesn't. By staying calm, you take away their influence. Detachment also grows from knowing your purpose. With a strong mission, you won't be rattled by distractions. Your focus sharpens because you understand your energy is too valuable to waste on what doesn't help. Mastery belongs to the self-disciplined. As you grow in emotional control, your momentum builds. Others panic, but you stay grounded. Others lash out, but you act wisely. That edge gives you a power few ever find. Real strength doesn't shout or show off. It's a presence that speaks volumes without words. With emotional detachment, you don't just live, you lead. Number 3, mindful indifference is a superpower. We're raised to think we must care deeply about everything, other people's opinions, their praise, their views. Society suggests our worth depends on how much we care about others' approval. But freedom lies in understanding most things don't matter. Next time you overthink, ask yourself if it'll matter in 5 years. If not, release it. The things we stress about, criticism, setbacks, awkward moments, fade with time, yet we let them dominate our minds and moods. This is why indifference gives you back control. It's not about not caring, it's about caring selectively. It means protecting your limited energy and spending it only where it truly counts. Not every fight deserves your effort. Not every comment needs your attention. When you stop responding to every minor irritation, you rise above them. You become less reactive and more deliberate. And that mindset shift changes your entire approach. Think of the people you admire. They aren't chasing approval or reacting to every blow. They stay rooted, unaffected by the world's noise. They have deep self-awareness and can't be easily swayed. When you think this way, something powerful happens. People respect you, not because you beg for it, but because you carry yourself with quiet strength. In a world full of conformists, those who stay true to themselves hold real power. Picture someone unfairly criticizing you. The insecure snap back, defend themselves, or over-justify. The confident stay silent. They understand words are powerless unless they accept them. By refusing to react, they stay in control, not just of the moment, but of their inner world. And that self-possession earns more respect than any emotional response ever could. The same rule holds true for success. High achievers don't squander energy on meaningless things. They lock in on their goals, staying immune to petty distractions and outside opinions. They move with purpose, aware that worrying about things that don't matter only delays their progress. So how can you develop this kind of focus? Begin by examining your responses. The next time you feel annoyed, tense, or anxious over something small, stop. Ask yourself, does this deserve my energy? Often, the honest answer is no. Train yourself to release what adds no value. Another key step is setting solid priorities. Identify what really counts: your mission, your growth, your peace. When you're grounded in self-worth, other people's opinions lose their power. You become unshakable, not because you don't care at all, but because you care deeply about what truly matters. That's the secret most miss. Real strength isn't in chasing approval, but in being undisturbed by rejection. It's walking away from what drains you and keeping your focus in a world built to distract. It's not about caring less, it's about caring wisely. Direct your energy where it's deserved. Refuse to waste it on what doesn't serve you. Because when you master indifference, you don't just endure, you flourish. In a world obsessed with people-pleasing, those rooted in self-respect always stand out. Stop chasing approval. Approval-seeking is a trap. It hands over your happiness to others and makes you reliant on their praise. But here's the truth. No one's opinion should outweigh your own. When you let others define your value, you give up control. Real confidence is earned through self-trust, by realizing you don't need anyone's permission to be who you are. Think about the most captivating people you know. They don't beg for attention or shrink to fit in. They show up fully, flaws and all. That's their strength, their unwavering identity. While others chase likes, they follow their truth, bold and unfiltered. Needing approval is born of fear, of rejection, of standing alone. But remember, the more you seek validation, the more you give up your power. You twist yourself to fit others' molds and lose yourself in the process. Freedom comes when you stop needing to be liked. Chasing universal approval is a fantasy. No matter what you do, someone will always criticize. Some will admire you, others won't get you, most won't care. So why waste time trying to impress everyone? Think of those who shift the world, leaders, creators, visionaries. They're not obsessed with blending in. They're led by purpose, not approval. They get judged, but stay firm. Their confidence is built on inner fire, not outside praise. That's why they're unstoppable. If you want to escape the validation trap, ask whose voice truly matters. Most critics don't understand your mission. Their words hold no weight unless you hand it to them. Also, learn to recognize your own progress. Celebrate even the small wins. When you see your own worth, outside applause becomes meaningless. You don't need it, you just know. Letting go of validation isn't arrogance, it's strength. It means trusting your path, your judgment, your identity. It's knowing your value isn't up for debate. The moment you stop needing approval, you start living. You stop editing your truth to fit in. You live boldly with purpose and power. Not everyone will agree with you. Not everyone has to. The ones who matter will respect your authenticity, not because you chase their approval, but because you never needed it. So back yourself. Trust your voice, your values, your vision. Drop the need for outside validation and step into full self-acceptance. Because once you do, you become untouchable, not from having everyone's praise, but from not needing it. Number 5, handle criticism. Criticism is unavoidable, but your response to it shapes your strength. Many falter at the first sign of disapproval, internalizing every comment and letting it influence their self-image, actions, and determination. But why? Criticism is just words, opinions, and perspectives, often from those who don't understand your path. In truth, criticism only holds power if you grant it that power. React emotionally and you let it control you. Filter it through logic and you stay in control. The strongest individuals don't let criticism shake them. They evaluate it with a clear mind, extracting the valuable insights and discarding the rest. No unnecessary emotions, no overreaction, just focused attention on what truly matters. The key is to process criticism through logic, not emotion. Hold on to what helps you, ignore what doesn't, and never let someone's opinion disrupt your peace. Criticism falls into two categories: constructive and destructive. Constructive criticism is beneficial. It's meant to help you improve. It comes from people who are knowledgeable, experienced, and genuinely want to see you grow. This is the kind of feedback you should welcome. Destructive criticism, on the other hand, is meant to break you down. It often comes from a place of jealousy, insecurity, or ignorance. These opinions have no value unless you mistakenly internalize them. Picture a sculptor chiseling away at his masterpiece. Some admire his work, others offer helpful advice, and some mock his efforts. Does he abandon his vision because of a few negative voices? No, he keeps going, guided by his inner vision, filtering out the noise. This is how you must approach criticism. When criticized, ask yourself, does this person have the experience or credibility to judge me? If they do, consider their feedback. If not, move on. Not all voices deserve your attention. Most criticism comes from people who haven't walked your path. Their words reflect their limitations, not yours. Criticism tests emotional resilience. Weak-minded individuals react impulsively, get defensive, argue, or fall into self-doubt. The strong remain unmoved. They acknowledge criticism, process it, but never let it disrupt their inner peace. When you respond with calm indifference, you show the world that your confidence is unwavering. Think of history's greatest minds, visionaries, creators, leaders. They all faced relentless criticism. Their ideas were doubted, their decisions questioned, yet they pressed on, undeterred by external voices. What set them apart was their ability to stand firm in the face of doubt. They understood that criticism is often the price of progress. To develop this mindset, practice detachment. The next time you're criticized, pause. Don't react immediately. Instead, analyze. Is there value in their words? If yes, learn from it. If not, let it go. Mastering this habit will free you from the emotional burden of seeking approval. Another powerful tool is self-conveyance. When you deeply believe in your path, external opinions lose their grip on you. Confidence doesn't come from the approval of others, it comes from within. Once you realize this, shallow criticism becomes meaningless. The world will always have something to say. Some will praise you, others will criticize. But in the end, the only opinion that matters is your own. True power lies in the ability to hear criticism, evaluate it rationally, and move forward without losing focus. The strongest individuals don't fear criticism. They use it wisely or ignore it completely. The next lesson, keep your composure under pressure. Pressure reveals character. Some crumble, some bend, but the strong remain unshaken. Why? Because they prepare their minds before the storm hits. They understand that pressure is inevitable, not an anomaly. When you expect challenges, you stop being shocked by them. The secret is to detach from the need for control. Not everything will go as planned. People will disappoint you, obstacles will arise, and unexpected setbacks will occur. But you remain calm. You don't react emotionally. You respond strategically with thoughtful calculation. Most people crack under pressure because they resist reality. They expect life to be smooth, predictable, and within their grasp. When things go awry, they panic, complain, or freeze. But those who train to embrace uncertainty, adapt, and move with the chaos, not against it, are the ones who thrive. Think of a seasoned warrior. He doesn't enter battle expecting an easy victory. He anticipates resistance, ambushes, and unexpected threats, and he remains prepared. Yet he stays composed. Why? Because he has already accepted that conflict is a part of life. He doesn't waste energy wishing for things to be easier. Instead, he focuses on executing his plan. You must adopt this same approach. The world will challenge you. It will throw stress, failure, and doubt your way. But if you have trained yourself to stay calm under pressure, nothing will shake you. While others panic and scramble, you will move with precision. You won't react, you will respond. There's power in mastering control, not over external events, but over yourself. When you no longer need everything to go perfectly, you become unstoppable. When you recognize that pressure is inevitable, you stop fearing it. Instead, you see it for what it truly is, an opportunity to refine your composure. Think of the greatest leaders, the most unshakable people. They don't flinch in chaos, they don't collapse when things go wrong. Instead, they exude calmness, certainty, and control. This is what makes them stand out. People look at them and wonder, how do they remain so composed while others fall apart? The answer: they have trained their minds to expect challenges. They've rehearsed their reactions before the test even comes. They understand that emotions cloud judgment, so they detach from unnecessary feelings. They prioritize logic over panic, giving them an advantage that most will never possess. To build this control, shift your perspective on pressure. See it as a test, a game of discipline. When faced with stress, challenge yourself to stay composed. Observe your emotions without letting them influence your actions. The more you practice, the more natural it becomes. Another essential practice is preparation. The strongest individuals don't wait for pressure to arrive, they train for it. They mentally rehearse worst-case scenarios. They condition their minds to remain steady under stress. When you do this, nothing catches you off guard. You become a strategist, not a reactor. Most people live unprepared, relying on hope instead of discipline. They expect things to go their way, and when they don't, they break down. But those who prepare their minds for adversity, they don't fold. They remain standing, unaffected. So the next time pressure builds, remind yourself, this is my test, my moment to demonstrate control. While others panic, you'll stay calm. While others react, you'll calculate. And when the storm passes, you will still stand, unshaken, unbroken, and invincible. 7. Letting go of what you can't control. Suffering often stems from our attachment to outcomes, to expectations, to things outside of our control. We hold tightly to what we think should happen, to how we believe life should unfold. When reality doesn't align with our desires, we experience pain. But true mental strength lies in letting go. Picture a river. The water flows around obstacles without resistance. It doesn't demand that rocks move out of its way, nor does it stop flowing when faced with resistance. It adapts. That's how you must approach life. Some things will happen, no matter how much you stress over them. The job offer that never came, the person who walked away, the unexpected setback. You can either resist and suffer, or you can adapt and move forward. The choice is yours. Letting go isn't about giving up. It's about shifting your focus to what you can control. Holding on to expectations makes you fragile. It keeps you stuck in frustration, replaying past events, wondering what could have been different. But when you embrace the reality that some things are beyond your control, you free yourself from unnecessary suffering. Think of the strongest people you know. They aren't the ones fighting against the inevitable. They are the ones who stay calm in uncertainty. They have mastered detachment, not from life itself, but from the illusion of control. They understand that life is unpredictable, and peace comes from flowing with it, not against it. Most people waste their energy trying to force outcomes. They tie their happiness to specific results. If things go as planned, they feel satisfied. If not, they crumble. This is a weak way to live. True strength from adaptability. When you detach from rigid expectations, you develop a resilience that makes you unstoppable. No event, no disappointment, no setback can break you. The key to letting go is awareness. Then you catch yourself holding on to something too tightly, whether it's an outcome, a person, or an expectation. Pause. Ask yourself, is this within my control? If the answer is no, release it. Don't waste your energy on what you can't change. Begin with the small things. Let go of minor irritations like waiting in long lines, slow traffic, or last-minute changes in plans. Notice the sense of freedom you feel when you don't react, when you refuse to let external circumstances control your mood. Over time, expand this mindset to handle bigger challenges. Some may confuse detachment with indifference, but they are not the same. Indifference is apathy, a refusal to engage with life. Detachment, however, is a profound understanding that while you can fully participate in life, you do not have to be controlled by its uncertainties. You can care deeply about your goals, relationships, and experiences, but you do not need to suffer when things don't go as expected. The moment you let go of what you can't control, you become untouchable. You move through life with a sense of peace that others admire but cannot comprehend. While they are consumed by frustration and disappointment, you remain steady, unshaken. They wonder how you do it, how nothing seems to disturb your composure. The truth is, you've mastered the art of letting go, so stop resisting, accept what is, adapt to what comes. And above all, remember this: the strongest minds don't cling, they flow. Like a river, they move forward, untouched by obstacles in their path. 8. Silence is the ultimate power move. In a world that's obsessed with noise, silence becomes a weapon. Most people speak to fill the silence, to gain validation, or to prove something. But the most powerful individuals don't speak unnecessarily. They listen, observe, and calculate. When they do speak, every word carries weight. Silence unsettles people. It forces them to second-guess themselves, to analyze your thoughts, and to wonder what you're thinking. In any conversation, the one who speaks less holds more control. Words reveal, but silence conceals. When you master the art of silence, you shift the power dynamics in your favor. You gain control over conversations, situations, and how people perceive you. Many people feel uncomfortable with silence. They rush to fill it with explanations, justifications, or unnecessary chatter. But when you hold back, you force others to reveal themselves. The more they speak, the more they expose their thoughts, insecurities, and intentions. Meanwhile, you remain a mystery, and in that mystery lies power. Imagine a negotiation. The person across from you makes an offer expecting an immediate response, but instead of reacting, you pause. You allow silence to stretch. The longer you wait, the more unsettled they become. They begin second-guessing themselves. They fill the silence with better terms, compromises, or desperation. Why? Because silence creates tension, and tension creates leverage. This principle applies to everyday interactions as well. The next time someone insults you, stay silent. Most people expect a reaction: anger, defense, or retaliation. By giving them nothing, you strip them of their power over you. They begin wondering whether their words had any effect. They start to feel foolish. Your silence forces them to confront their own emotions rather than feeding off yours. Silence is also a tool for observation. When you speak less, you notice more. You see the hesitation in someone's voice, the nervous shift in their posture, the contradictions in their words. Most people miss these cues because they're too busy talking. But when you master silence, you become a strategist. You gather information without revealing anything in return. There's a reason why the world's most influential figures aren't the loudest in the room. They choose their words carefully. They don't waste energy on meaningless chatter. They understand that speaking less doesn't mean knowing less. On the contrary, it means knowing more. To cultivate power through silence, practice restraint. The next time you're in a conversation, pause before speaking. Observe the room. Listen more than you speak. Let others reveal themselves first. The less you say, the more people will lean in when you finally do speak. Another way to harness silence is to embrace it in moments of high emotion. When you're angry, stay silent. When insulted, stay silent. When someone demands an immediate response, delay it. The ability to control your speech in intense situations is the ultimate display of discipline, and discipline commands respect. Powerful people are not reactive. They don't let emotions dictate their words. They understand that silence can itself be a response. A pause can say more than an entire sentence. A moment of quiet can transform an entire interaction. The next time you're in a situation where someone expects you to react, don't. Stay silent, stay connected. For more motivational updates while you subscribe to my channel, share your views at the comment section.